Hi, and welcome to Lesson 12. We're going to be talking about sexuality and sensuality. In Lesson 12, you may experience some discomfort as we explore the topic of sexuality and, of course, sensuality. As we explore the topic of sexuality and sensuality in your relationship, sexuality and sensuality can enhance your relationship by communicating honestly with each other about your needs and desires. You can have a wonderful time expressing your sexuality in fun and sensual ways. For men, these experiences are revelatory. Men, because they are often cut off from the emotional part of themselves, are especially often forced to piggyback their need for intimacy on sex. They have no less need for intimacy than women, but it usually gets suppressed and denied. Or they attempt to satisfy their need for closeness through contact sports and roughhousing. They don't know how to work things out in a man-woman intimate relationship. But when they learn, they almost always feel an enormous sense of wholeness and relief. In growing up, many men have learned that the only thing they are supposed to do or have to be close to a woman is sex. Gentlemen, unfortunately, that doesn't work for the women. Now, they discover that bonding is a valid need in its own right, and needing physical closeness doesn't mean they are going to regress into helplessness and never function again. It doesn't weaken you. In fact, it strengthens you. But this is not learnable merely by cognitive statement. Having the experience illuminates the point and changes the thinking. The exercises are important because they integrate the emotional acceptance, the behavioral change, and the cognitive understanding that occurs. So don't step over them. Complete every one. It is no news that sexual problems in a relationship are frequently the byproduct of personal and relational conflicts and anxieties. For too many couples, sex has become a substitute for intimacy and a defense against closeness. Most poor sex stems from poor communication, from understandings of what one's mate actually wants, not from unwillingness or inability to give it. In the realm of sex, as in other domains of the relationship, you cannot expect your partner to guess what pleases you. You are obligated to figure out for yourself what stimulates, delights, and satisfies you, and acknowledge it. It is not enough to give and receive. You also have to be able to speak up and reach out on your own behalf. Before sex can be rewarding for both partners, they have to first restore the ability to confide and reestablish emotional openness, to establish a sense of camaraderie. Then physical closeness has meaning, and the meaning serves only to heighten the pleasure of the physical experience even more. Of course, intercourse is not the only avenue to physical pleasure. There is a whole range of physical closeness couples can learn to offer each other: being together, hugging, holding each other, caressing each other's faces. When my husband and I first got married, we sat down together and we wrote out agreements. I know it sounds kind of like a geeky existence, but we're geeks. And we wrote out in agreement that we would never kiss each other without being fully present. We agreed that we would always score our kisses. So it looks something like this. We kiss, and then we look at each other and it's like, oh, okay, that was kind of a 6. What can we do to increase it? Get it up to a 10. And in that moment, we realize we're not fully present. And we talk about that and we bring ourselves to it. We take a step back and engage with looking at each other, noticing each other. It might sound corny for some people, but you have to understand it's your life. So why not have it be great? Why just sit in survival and wait for death to come? Massaging your partner's body. In fact, taking pleasure in each other is a habit that some couples actually have to acquire. It's worth the work. Taking pleasure in your partner is the very thing your partner needs most from you. The daily temperature reading is something I want us to look at now. Confiding the ability to reveal yourself fully, honestly, and directly is the lifeblood of intimacy. To live together with satisfaction, couples need clear and regular communication. The great intuitive family therapist, Virginia Satir, developed a technique for partners and families to maintain an easy flow about the big and little things going on in their lives. I have adapted it, called the daily temperature reading. It's very simple and works for many. Do it daily, perhaps as you sit down to breakfast. At first, it will seem artificial, hokey, corny. In time, you'll evolve and you'll create your own style. Couples routinely report it as invaluable for staying close, even if they let it slide for a day or two when they get busy. It teaches partners how to listen non-defensively and to talk as a way to give information, not stir a reaction. So here are some of the basics. Sit close, perhaps even knee to knee, facing your partner, holding each other's hands. This simple touching creates an atmosphere of acceptance for both. Number 1, appreciation. Take turns expressing appreciation for something your partner has done and thanking each other. Number 2, new information. In the absence of information, assumptions, often false ones, rush in. Tell your partner something. I'm not looking forward to the monthly planning meeting this morning. To keep contact alive and let your partner in your mood, you have to share your experiences and what you're thinking, your life. Share it, and then listen to your partner. Number 3, puzzles. Take turns asking each other something you don't understand and your partner can explain. Why were you so down last night? Or voice a question about yourself. I don't know why I got so angry while we were figuring out expenses. You might not find answers, but you will be giving your partner some insight about yourself at a time where you're not upset or outraged. Besides, your partner may have insights about your experiences. What a contribution if you allow it. Number 4, complaint with request for change. Without placing blame or being judgmental, cite a specific behavior that bothers you and state the behavior you are asking for instead. If you're going to be late for dinner, please call me. That way, the kids and I can make our own plans and won't be waiting for you. See how simple that is? Number 5, hope. Sharing hopes and dreams is important to a relationship. Hopes can range from the mundane, I hope you don't have to work this weekend, to the grandiose, I'd really love to spend a month in Europe with you. But the more the two of you bring dreams into immediate awareness, the more likely you'll find a way to realize them. So now, I want to give you a bonus bonding exercise. Are you ready? Most people put a lid on the hurts or fears of the past. It doesn't bother me anymore. It isn't that important. But I find that it is essential to lift that lid in the context of the current relationship to close the revolving ledger. So, I want you to choose a time when you are feeling somewhat edgy. Put on some soft music in the background and lie down with your partner. Lie on your sides, cradled into each other, both facing the same direction. While your partner is holding you, quietly reveal something he or she does that triggers a full-blown, intense emotional reaction in you. It might be that she doesn't listen to you, or he interrupts you constantly, or doesn't call when he says he's going to call while he's away, or rejects whatever you suggest when you do this. I'm very upset. Are you speaking? Your partner? As you are speaking, your partner is holding you and listening. Can you already see the difference if you engage in this way, as opposed to sharing the things that bother you when you're both upset or when you're separated by space in the room? Now, tell your partner what experience out of your history your reaction connects to. Perhaps his not calling you infuriates you because it arouses the fear you felt when a parent left or died, or your first husband walked out. Now comes the remarkable part. Tell your partner what you would have needed to happen in your history that would have helped. What actions would you have preferred to have happened? What words would you have needed to hear? Now, let your partner tell you what you need to hear. While you take it in, your partner is free to say it in his or her own way. I'm sorry that happened to you. I wish I had been there. And now, discuss the price you are paying in your current relationship for having this emotional reaction to events of the past. Perhaps it is that you don't talk to your partner, you withdraw, withhold, or you get even. What you talk about next is what you can do then to help yourself. How can I signal you neutrally to let you know when you trigger this response in me? At this point, you are talking about what will help you in the future. You are jointly and consciously outlining useful behaviors, constructing a relationship in which actions and experiences have the same meaning and the same effect for both of you. This is essential for happiness to occur in a relationship. Next, playing dead. Rarely in a long-term relationship do we talk about what we appreciate in our partner. Yet, it is not possible to sustain a pleasurable relationship without that. I have found that most couples need to rediscover what it is they value in each other. I have developed an exercise that can quickly restore a sense of priorities of what is important in life and in a relationship. Don't be misled by its simplicity. As I ask a couple to talk about what they never talk about together, death and loss, this usually turns out to be an experience with a dramatic, literally and figuratively, emotional impact. Choose a quiet time and a quiet place when there are no immediate pressures on you or your partner. Plan ahead to set aside the time. Allow about an hour to do this. Lie down on the floor, eyes closed, arms crossed or at your side, as if you were dead. Take a few deep breaths and allow yourself to relax, but remain still. Your partner now gets to imagine that you are gone. I know, you're already like, what? But you have to trust me. Your partner now gets to imagine that you are gone and talk to you as if you were. Your partner must speak about what he or she will miss about you, any regret, etc. Give him or her time to get into the experience. All you do is lie still and listen. Then switch places while you speak about what you will miss. If you have already identified yourself as a placater or a blamer, you will specifically want to engage in this exercise. It will be extremely powerful for you. Most people are profoundly moved by the emotional discoveries they make about themselves, their partner, and their relationship. They realize they have something they don't want to throw away. But in the days to come, don't stop there. Use what you have learned to construct a more rewarding relationship. It should never be a matter that we use what we've learned from our partners, about our partners, to hurt them or to throw it up to them at the most inconvenient time. Sit down in a spirit of goodwill. Voice your appreciation. Make a specific request for behavioral change and jointly negotiate the steps that will preserve the emotional closeness. I know you've got this. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.